Okay, right. It's been one of those days when you look at the news and you just start shouting at the TV or the radio, whatever it is. So strap in, folks. This could be a bit of a wild one. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go, but let's start with just take a look at this Trump. But I mean, I don't really need to say anything else, do I? Trump. So he decided that plastic straws are the way to go. I mean, of all the things you could focus on, plastic straws, really?
Next, this is an executive order relating to the use of paper straws. As you've consistently identified, nobody really likes paper straws. No. The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing procurement processes. It really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay. And I don't think that plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the ocean.
Okay, so aside from the obvious fact that that was a load of bullshit, I mean, what the actual fuck was he talking about? There's no environmental credence that plastic straws are damaging. Well, I mean, I put the picture of the turtle in that, didn't I? They get stuck in loads of marine life. The most telling one I saw was the turtle pictures where it got stuck up its nose and had to be pulled up with pliers. It was horrible. But that aside, you've got like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is all plastic, not just straws, but many sorts of plastic. You've got marine life that's ingesting plastic, which means their stomachs are full, so they can't eat anything else. And you've got whales and sharks, probably, Mr. Trump, munching their way through the ocean. I mean, I don't know who the laughing twat was on the right there, but I mean, no, either he was laughing at Trump or with, I don't know if he was laughing with Trump, but what on earth was going on? So yeah, marine life is getting killed by plastic, including plastic straws, because they can't actually ingest enough food because their stomachs are full of the stuff. Aside from that, we've got plastic in our brains, plastic in our blood, plastic in our testicles, I think. No doubt ovaries as well. It's everywhere, microplastics. And that must be doing untold health damage. We probably don't know what the effects are of it yet. And plastic in unborn babies, in fetuses, has been found. So isn't it sort of good that we're phasing out plastic and maybe paper straws are the way to go? Exploding exploding paper straws. Now, I don't know if this is some kind of like spy straw or something. Maybe somebody's tried to take out Trump with an exploding paper straw, because I've never, okay, they might get a bit soggy sometimes, but I've never had a problem using one. An exploding plastic straw, has anyone experienced? Or exploding paper straw, sorry, has anyone experienced that? I would have thought plastic ones are more of danger of melting and causing an injury. I reckon maybe somebody's tried to take Trump out with a paper straw. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, there was quite a lot of misinformation on that. And it's all lobbying activity, isn't it? It's the oil and gas giants, the oil companies. Of course they want us to use more oil to make plastic out of stuff and increase their profits and increase their money. It's just a never-ending battle. Feels like we take 2 steps forward and finally plastic straws are banned. We're looking at single-use plastic and what we can do with that. We're phasing out other forms of plastic where it's not needed. Refillable stuff would be brilliant, but oh yeah, let's just reverse all that and bring back plastic straws when we really don't need them. And I'm sorry, people are generally pretty happy with paper straws. I haven't noticed anyone complaining. So yeah, that was just, I don't know what planet he's on, but he's really leading us to a bad place. And then the second thing I saw today was about BP. So BP came out, British Petroleum came out and said they're going to reduce their investments in renewables because unless energy companies can see a clear profit, it's not worth them investing in renewables. I mean, what do you say to that, really? So these oil and gas companies, they've known literally for decades that the burning of the products they produce, which by the way includes plastic, creates greenhouse gases, which heats up our planet. They've known this since the 60s and 70s. And in 1988, or 89 maybe, Professor James Hansen spoke to the Congressional Committee and warned them about it, about the heating that was going on. And of course, we know we've gone past 1.5 above global averages now, and then we're going to hit 2 degrees above global averages in the next 20 years or something, maybe less than that. And look at what it's already doing with extreme weather events. We had Storm Eowyn that came through and knocked power out. We've had floods, and in this country, the sea level rise is getting quite dramatic in places. And the coastal erosion just around Norfolk is really, really bad at the moment. So we're already feeling the impacts of climate breakdown because of the human-caused emissions from the burning of oil and gas. And you've got BP saying that energy companies won't invest in renewables unless there's a clear profit. I mean, that just says it all, doesn't it, really? I was a bloke, by the way, hardly surprising. Look at all the blokes that are in charge of stuff around the world at the moment, just fucking everything up. Trump, the oil and gas bosses, Starmer, he's not doing a great job, is he? Musk, Putin, I mean, the list goes on and on. So yeah, the energy companies, they want to double down on extracting oil and gas. So I'm worried about the North Sea. Are they going to go back and open Rosebank and these other fields? There's no need for it. Renewables are quicker and cheaper to build. And with the battery tech we've got, we can get over periods where there perhaps isn't enough, as much wind as you want. Basically, the argument about like, oh, the sun doesn't shine all the time and the wind doesn't blow all the time is pretty much irrelevant now, because there's so many ways of storing potential energy. But you've got BP coming along and saying that basically they just want to make loads of cash and renewables won't do that for them. Oh, great. So what are you going to spend your fucking money on when the planet's dead? Because that's where we're heading if you keep burning fossil fuels, you know, oil, gas and coal. Even China's doing better than us on renewables. They're building far quicker than anyone else in the world. They're on track to have renewables totally power their country far before anyone else at the rate they're going on. So, and it's not just BP, it's Exxon, Shell, Total. They're all in it, aren't they? It's sort of like and then you've got Musk chanting on the sidelines. Well, Musk is weird though, because he's got like his Teslas and electric cars. So I thought he'd be more pro electricity and renewable energy, but don't know. And then of course Trump is just drill baby drill, isn't he? So again, in the pockets of lobbyists and populism, and they're so powerful, these deep pockets. That's the thing. So activists, it felt like over the last 5 years or so, we've actually made some progress. We got a climate emergency declared. We got new licenses in the North Sea. No to that for oil and gas. It doesn't make sense, by the way. Drilling in the North Sea makes no sense whatsoever. The contracts are sold to companies, and they would sell that oil and gas on the open market. So it doesn't automatically mean that oil and gas would be consumed at home. So would not mean cheaper energy for us at all. And anyway, again, the argument is renewable energy is quicker and cheaper to build, and we have ways of storing that potential energy, whether it be down mines or in water towers or in batteries. There's loads of ways we can look at to do that. And by the way, one of the ways isn't bloody carbon capture and storage off the back of burning and liquefied natural gas. That's just a wild goose chase, trying to prolong the use of fossil fuels, which, you know, Labour's obviously got into power and been affected by lobbyists, who, by the way, meet with the government about 5 times a week or something, got like unfettered access to Whitehall. It's no fucking wonder, is it, that people are disenchanted with Westminster, that Reform are gaining power when they don't represent ordinary people. They don't think like ordinary people. They don't get what ordinary people want. We want to be safe. We want like an NHS that works. We want food security. We want reliable energy. We want our potholes fixed. We don't want all this nonsense about burning more oil and gas, which is putting us at risk. It's not just our children. It's us at risk. Like in my lifetime, it's already happening. You've got millions of people dying now because of climate breakdown. In Africa, there was like a stat a couple of years ago, one person was dying every 36 seconds in the east of Africa due to famine and drought. So it's not like it's a thing that's going away. It's just getting worse all the time. And of course, all the horrific floods that have battered places. Europe, as well as like Libya and Bangladesh and India and Pakistan. Yeah, but the energy companies won't invest in renewables unless there's a clear profit. Basically, they don't give a shit about anyone else but themselves, do they? They do not give a shit. All they're worried about is money. And what I just cannot comprehend, who could think like that when actually, I mean, what's that going to get you in the long term? When the financial system collapses in, like, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, what are they going to do with that money? Because it won't be worth anything. Maybe the broligarchy, these fucking men that are screwing everything up, they probably are just building their underground shelters, aren't they, or the above ground shelters or whatever, and trying to work out how they ride out the climate crisis. Well, you're not going to ride it out. It's going to go on for hundreds, maybe thousands of years until CO2 levels stabilise or go down enough for temperatures and extreme weather to normalise. That's the sort of trajectory we're on at the moment. 2 degrees, 3 degrees, unless we reduce emissions. So, yeah, anyway, it's a bit laughable, really, isn't it, what's going on right now? You've got all these right-wing leaning men, including corporation bosses, making all these stupid decisions that fly in the face of what scientists are telling us for the sake of money. And it's going to make countries like America smaller again. It's going to make us smaller again. It's not going to do us any favour whatsoever. And it's going to kill people. So frankly, fuck you BP, Exxon, Shell, screw you Trump. And come on, UK government, do something that's like, stop putting us back decades when we've made little advances over the last few years. Let's release the climate protesters from prison and do something good. And you know, if you want to get involved, then there's loads of stuff you can do. Just Stop Oil, I've got a campaign starting in April down in London. Come and sit with us down in London, outside the Houses of Parliament, demanding change. Or there's Greenpeace, or there's Extinction Rebellion, or there's Friends of the Earth, or, you know, get involved with MP Watch. Write to your MP, lobby them, get them to see sense. I think they get so distracted by lobbyists, they lose track of what's going on. Yeah, so don't be a bystander. That's what happened in the 20s and 30s, and looks where that goes. What's the news going to have tomorrow? Who knows? It's like some kind of horrific nightmare, isn't it? All right, stay frosty, everyone. Cheers.